Hi, good evening, everyone. Today is the 21st of February, and we are back with another Wednesday note and some special guests today. So, let me just share a little bit of the background. The last few months, we've seen several untimely deaths of young adults who were in college and university, and that death rate going so high is very, very alarming. The deaths happened because of various reasons. And today, here we are to discuss what's going on. Are parents missing something to let their kids know the do's and don'ts of going to a college or what may happen? Or are or are the students, are young adults facing something more than that? So, with that, please welcome Jayshree, please welcome Megha, and we have again a youth volunteer. Would you want to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Asha Trivedi. I am a junior at Naperville North High School.
Jayshree, Megha, do you want to briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jayashree, and I'm with Sanjeevani for the past 7 years. I'm one of the volunteers.
Hi, I'm Mega, and I've had the great opportunity to be a part of Sanjeevani for a year, and I am also a volunteer.
So, we have a couple of questions, Jayshree, Megha, Aisha. When students go to college, normally, what do parents generally say? Like a piece of advice.
First thing would be to concentrate on your, studies and to take care of yourself because it's kind of the first time the kids are going away from home. It's difficult for the parents to let go of the kids. At the same time, everything is new out there. So taking care of themselves is very important. And that's one piece of advice that I gave my daughter.
What I would tell, when my daughter goes to college, I would tell her to really enjoy this experience. It's a whole new world opening up to you. You have the opportunity to make new friends, not only focus obviously on your education, but really take part in different activities that are offered through college, make good friends. And I would also say that this is where you have the opportunity to make your own decisions and be smart about what you do and make sure that, again, at the end of the day, you want it to be a wonderful experience for you, but be careful in your decision making as you enter into college.
Yes, making those right decisions in college is very important.
I
First
think
time when they're independent.
in one thing, even as our kids are younger, they get easily influenced by others, right? So it's important to know what's right for you, what's wrong, and making sure that you're making the best decisions for yourself and
Coming
not
back to that, Megha, you said making the best decision. Do you think a teenager, say 17, 18, leaves high school, goes to college, what, maybe 18 or 19, are they really well equipped to make the right decision for them? Do you think these students know the right from wrong?
I certainly believe that, it starts in your home, the upbringing you have. It is a huge responsibility for the parents to guide their children and making sure that they set the right values and instill them in their children. You have to have faith and confidence in your kids to let them go and, experience what's out there. And I believe if you give them the right upbringing and the values, that hopefully they'll make good decisions.
With that, I would like to say that, I totally agree with that. But letting the kids know that they can experience the new things, but to stay safe at the same time, and giving them the freedom that it's okay. It's not the same. The times have changed from when we grew up, when we went to college, and when our kids are going. There is so much more new for them to experience than what we had. So giving them the freedom and saying that it's okay, you can enjoy it, but keep us in the loop and let us know what exactly you're doing. Not just stopping them from doing certain things, even when they are with us at home. Like, no, you can't do this. That would only make them want to experience it more, especially when they have their freedom in college, when the parents are not around. And that's when they can tend to make mistakes.
Let me
I
ask
think
you
you
a
make-
couple more questions. I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
No, please. I was just going to add one thing. You make a really good point there, Jayshree. I think it's very important for our kids to know that they can come to us to speak to us about, you know, anything that's going on in their life, any issues they're having. And we really need to make sure as parents, as you mentioned, times have changed. It's a different generation. And we need to make sure our kids are comfortable to come to us with any issues or problems and know that they have a support system they can lean on.
Right. Yeah, I think again, that's the upbringing. If you introduce that to them from a very small age, that they can come to you with any questions they have, which during our times might have been a taboo to be spoke to talk at home, but these kids, they can talk about it, and we should talk about it. It could be anything, being making a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or it could be having a drink. It could be anything. These were certain things that didn't exist during my time. So you should give them the freedom and not shoo them away saying that, no, we don't talk about this, or this is not allowed in this house. That is a big mistake. And that's when kids start hiding it and doing it behind our backs. Rather, let them talk about it and have this comfort that no matter what the topic is, I can go to my parents and talk about it, and they will help me experience it in a very safe surrounding.
Let me also ask a quick question to the three of you. If a child is going to college or at an impressionable age, do you think parents feel comfortable to say talk of sex, talk of alcohol, talk of drugs? Hey, if you want to have sex, this is fine. Have sex, safe sex. Or these are the pros and cons of, different outcomes of what may happen. Or if you want to, drink alcohol, there is a certain age to it. Why that certain age is given? Drugs, experimentation, and all of that. Do you think parents today are comfortable talking of all of this thing?
uh, I don't think all parents are comfortable, but they are definitely getting better. This is what I see amongst my friends and myself. And we should become more comfortable because we want our kids to be safe. If you want that good, healthy relationship and safety for your kids, even if you're uncomfortable, make yourself comfortable and speak about it in such a way that it can be spoken about with your kids to a certain limit if you're very uncomfortable about it. But open the topics to them. Don't close the topics, because that doesn't lead to good results.
What I would say in making an educated guess here, I know with a lot of our friends, they're very open with their children, but I know there's a large population that they don't speak about sex, they don't speak about drugs, they don't speak about, mental health. And what truly we need to tell all the parents out there is that regardless of age, gender, race, mental health does not discriminate. This can happen to anyone. So if you're not talking to your kids, a call to action is please start talking to your kids, opening up these topics so that they feel comfortable they have you to lean on.
I want to also ask our young guest today. I know in high school, there's always pressure of studies, and a student is supposed to study, as we all call. But do you feel as a student, as a high school student, you amongst your friends talk about stress, anxiety, or other kind of mental health concerning happen amongst yourself? And would you be comfortable sharing with adult guardians?
Well, I think the mental health conversations, especially for high schoolers, have opened up a little bit more with recent events that have happened specifically at my high school. Because we did have a suicide happen earlier this year, and then we had an alumni from last year who also killed herself. So I think for like in my area, we have had to almost be a little bit more open about it and have those conversations. And I think that it's a lot harder to open up, I feel like, to adults, just because it's a little bit, it's hard to explain, like for kids who are going through mental health struggles, how to explain how they're feeling, because they don't think that other people can understand them. And it can be hard, especially telling your parents, like, I'm not doing okay, like I need help, because how are you supposed to explain, like, oh, they've done so much for me, they've provided for me. I tell them that I'm still not feeling good enough after all this. But I think the schools have done a good job, especially the teachers, of being better advocates for mental health and just saying that there are people that they can go to. And we've had things like Recharge Week at my school, which is a week focused on mental health and helping people, and where we'd have periods blocked off for talks about mental health, nap times, just meditation, anything to help students just feel better for them, mentally, specifically for themselves.
Again, another question which had come up anonymously, especially for our youth guest, but of course to Jayashree and Megha also. Do students, your friends, your peers, feel that there is a transactional relationship with the parents or guardians? So parents and guardians are providing, food, shelter, helping you and taking care of you. So in lieu of that, the students are supposed to be doing well in studies, meeting a certain grade criteria, be the good girl or the good boy, listening to all their asks, behaving in a certain way that they are expected to. Do you think this is a transactional relationship with students and their families?
I think it genuinely depends on the family. I think that kids want to do good for their parents because, like you said, parents provide for them. But I think certain families are more comfortable with each other where they can be like, I'm trying my hardest right now. And maybe that's not where they want to be. And so they can tell their parents can support them. But I think specifically in Asian families that the transactional relationship is a lot more, because we have like Asians, I feel like they have the stereotype of where they're supposed to be, really smart and really good at school and things like that. But I definitely think it depends on the family and kind of the relationship you have with your family. Like for me personally speaking, I don't really feel that way. Me and my mom are very close and we have a very strong relationship, so I don't feel that way with her. But I know some of my friends, they feel like, like I have to do good in this test. Like it's the end of the world if I don't do good in this test. Like I need to get that A. Like they have to have A's or else it's the end of the world for them. And then, you have other friends who they just, they would be considered bad kids, where they might be making bad decisions. Like they skip class or they sneak out of the house. So I genuinely do think it kind of depends on the relationship you have with your parents.
Thank you so much. Jayashree, Megha, what do you think about this transactional relationship concept coming up a lot these days?
I'm glad that Asha said she has this relationship with me. Otherwise, I may not have given her food tonight. So as we go into that transactional relationship, I would agree that it really depends on the family. And it's just relationship to relationship. I know a lot of her friends, some of which are going through certain mental health issues, and they certainly have not made the best decisions, and that has also unfortunately they've had to deal with the consequences. And I would tell all the children out there is a consequence to each action. And as you take a look at what you're looking to do next and whether you should do this or not, I would really just ask all the kids out there to just say, what is going to make me happy? What's going to be best for myself? And when we talk about, the relationship with your parents, if you don't have that openness right now, I would even ask the teenagers out there, the children, to try to get that relationship to where you want it to be with your parents. Just try opening up to them. They may surprise you. You may think that just because we haven't had these discussions, it doesn't mean that they won't be open and listen to you and support you. I believe at the end of the day, it's also not only the parents, but it's the children's responsibility to really have that relationship that they want with their parents and the parents with their kids. Times have changed. It is very different today. And I think we all need to understand, again, regardless of age, race, gender, sex, mental health is so prevalent, and we need to make sure we don't put blinders on ourselves.
I believe making anything transactional, it's not a relationship, especially, and it should not be, transactions don't belong in a house, in a family. So you should just let your child know why we are telling them to do something and how they can benefit out of it. And that's exactly what I have done with my child. And the only place where I'm transactional with her is when I need a hug. I will give her something because I need it. That's the only transaction I have. But otherwise, they should have the complete freedom and the understanding. They need to understand why the parents are telling them something. And once they do, I don't think anything is transactional. They get that responsibility in them.
Yeah, Jayashree, because I think one of the things called out that I want to do well in school because my parents want it. It should be something like that. I want to do good for myself so that, I can grow as a person. And of course, if I do well, the whole family is going to be happy. And it is, if mom does well, dad does well, the whole family grows. So ideally, that should be the way. And any parent who's listening to it, we hope you're able to benefit and get some key nuggets from the conversation. A lot of kids go to college every year or they leave the house. Let them know academics is not the one all thing. And there are so many aspects of a kid leaving the house, including a lot of sensitive subjects. It's okay to be a little bit uncomfortable in speaking this out. And as Megha said, kids, you'll be surprised that, how your parents are not the what you perceive to be. They could be quite different. Any closing remarks, ladies?
Just want to say that, this time at home with kids before they go off to college, make the best out of it and build a bond with them so they can come back to you with any of their problems, and there won't be any mental stress either for the parents or the kids. And that's the environment one should live in.
What I would say is everyone have open arms and welcome any topic that your child comes to you with, and be supportive, be a good listener. And also I would say, trust them and be in the present with them and make as many memories as you can with them, because soon or later they're going to be living on their own, and you want to be that person that helped guide them, that supported them to be able to make sure that they could stand on their own 2 feet and make sure that they're able to live a healthy, happy life, a life that makes them happy.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Just as a child's perspective, I feel like, especially for parents, just you should try to have an open relationship with your child and be ready to have those hard conversations, especially as they're going off to college, because it's going to be, our first time away from you guys for a long extended time. So be open to having those conversations, and maybe even be the first one to approach them so they know that you're ready to listen and you're ready to have that conversation with them, so they're no longer stressed about having it with you.
Thank you so much for providing the input. Once again, hope parents are listening and they're able to get some key conversation pointers. We also want to share 4th of March, 7:30 p.m. We have Dr. Serena Wadhwa, who's a specialist in addiction. She's going to talk about why addiction happens to anyone, and especially young adults moving from high school to college. So stay tuned. It's going to be a Facebook live session, 4th of March, 7:30 p.m. And should there be any parent or child going through mental health concerns, you can always call a trusted organization. You can always call Sanjeevni 224-424-0050. Thank you, our special guest, and especially our young volunteer. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.